Island in the clouds. Is Mount Roraima really a lost world where dinosaurs may still exist? Deep within the rainforests of Venezuela, a series of plateaus arise more than 9,000 feet or 2,743 meters off the ground. From above, they look like islands in the sky. These are the Tepuy, a Penom Indian word for mountain, the most famous of which is called Mount Roraima. The Tepuy are so unique in their geography that thousands of plant species exist nowhere else on the planet except on these various plateaus here. The mystical mountains fascinated explorers and writers for centuries, mostly Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who described an ancient ascent of Mount Roraima in his 1912 novel The Lost World. In Doyle's novel, a group of explorers found that dinosaurs and other extinct creatures were still alive and well on the remote plateaus. Some people today still believe this to be a real possibility. The real lost world. Once impenetrable to all but the Penom indigenous people, Mount Roraima really was a lost world. The mountain plateaus were already established when South America was linked with Africa to form the supercontinent of Gondwana, meaning they were first formed about 400 to 250 million years ago. During this time, molten rock forced its way up through cracks in the sandstone landmass. At the same time, wind and water swept across Gondwana to erode the raised highlands into mountain ranges. The region would come to look much like it does now, around 20 million years ago. Because the Tepuy have been isolated for so long atop their high, lonely plateaus, the flora and fauna of the Tepuy provide an organic illustration of the processes of evolution. It is guessed that at least half of the estimated 10,000 plant species here are unique to Tepuy and surrounding lowlands. New species are still being discovered. Although all of the Tepuy have been climbed, only a few have been extensively explored. Could this mean that supposedly extinct species, even dinosaurs, may still exist atop these remote plateaus? Could the legends be real? The Roraima plateaus are so remote and so unique that it's not difficult to imagine Sir Arthur Conan Doyle creating a world alive with prehistoric plants and dinosaurs in his novel The Lost World. Doyle was fascinated with the accounts of British botanist Everard M. Thurn, who climbed to the top of Mount Roraima December of 1884. Ascending Mount Roraima in 1989 for the National Geographic Society, German explorer Hugh George said, "None of us who followed M. Thor to Roraima have found primordial creatures or their fossil remains there, but the terrain is so difficult that only a fraction of the Tepuy's 44 square miles has so far been explored." Since his writing, more of Mount Roraima has been investigated, and unsurprisingly, no traces of dinosaurs have been found there. Sacred ground. Prior to the arrival of Europeans, the natives of Venezuela viewed the Tepuy as having special mythical significance. According to the Penom Indians, Mount Roraima is the stump of a mighty tree that once held all the fruits and tuberous vegetables in the world. However, it was felled by one of their ancestors. The tree crashed to the ground, unleashing a terrible flood. They believed that if a person ascended to the top of the Tepuy, he or she would not come back alive. A crystal mountain discovered with diamonds and waterfalls. Climbing the Tepuy is exceedingly difficult and is made all the more so by frequent rains that make the rocky footpath slippery and muddy. The first European explorer to write about the Tepuy was Sir Walter Raleigh in 1595. He wrote of a crystal mountain covered with diamonds and waterfalls. Quote, "There falleth over it a mightier roar, which toucheth no part of the side of the mountain, but fallen to the ground with a terrible noise and clamor, as if 1,000 great bells were knocked one against another. But what it had I know not, neither durst he or any of his men ascend to the top of the said mountain, those people adjoining being his enemies, as they were, and the way to it so impossible." This is what Raleigh wrote in, according to George, 1989. Sir Walter Raleigh, 1595. Now, there's a good chance that Sir Raleigh was describing Angel Falls, so named for the mid-20th century American Jimmy Angel, who was the first person to fly over the area. Angel Falls were recently featured in Disney's Up, where the falls are referred to as Paradise Falls. Now, while today's travelers may not stumble upon dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures, they will be able to see black frogs and tarantulas that exist nowhere else on the planet. It's believed that there are many other species unique to Roraima that are yet to be discovered. This article, Island in the Clouds, Is Mount Roraima Really a Lost World Where Dinosaurs May Still Exist? Originally created for Ancient Origins, published here under Creative Commons on Collective Spark. And please tell me what you think. This is by Steve McCamley, Collective Spark. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.